tell us, you talk a lot, which I love, about positive thinking, visualization. Can you tell us about that? Because that's not something that we always hear about in a book about herbs and nutrition.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to start, and I talk about that early on. Is that you are what you think you are, and um, you have to want to be healthy. I say in the book that a healthy and fit body begins between the ears. That's the first place you have to start. Uh, you have to want to do it. If you don't want to quit smoking, you never will. If you
Mm,
don't want to lose weight, you never will. If you don't want to bring your blood pressure down, you never will. If you don't want to reduce the pain, you never will. So the first thing you have to do is get your mind right and decide, yeah, it's going to be tough for 2 or 3 weeks to eat this way. But ultimately, you have to get your mind right and set to do it if you're going to do it. So, yeah, I talk a lot in the book about the power of positive thinking, um, how you have to change your shoulds to musts because
mhm,
you rarely accomplish what you should do, but you usually accomplish what you must do. So
mhm.
instead of saying, and it's just simple the way changing the way you think and talk about things, but instead of saying I should lose weight, say I must lose weight.
Mm,
Instead of thinking I should get up tomorrow and go for a walk or a run, say I must get up tomorrow and go for a walk or a run. Um, I should quit eating so much sugar. No, I must quit eating so much sugar. So I talk about that in the book, and I follow it up with studies that actually prove how powerful the mind is and how powerful positive thought is in healing and health and getting you to where you want to be.
yes, and I love it. I spend an hour, 2 hours every morning just focusing on reading personal development, journaling, affirmations, visualization. I spent, it started out as 10 minutes about 2.5 years ago, and it's
Right,
growing, so I wish I didn't have to go to work and I could
right.
just think positively all day.
Yeah, and,
Um,
and that's part of my 21-day program. I put in there that for 21 days, spend some time every day in some sort of motivation. Um,
mhm.
I listen to motivational speakers on YouTube. I love to listen to Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn
Yes.
and those kind of guys. They really inspire me, and they teach you how to think positively. And so I try to spend 10 or 15 minutes or more every day in some motivation like that.
Hmm. It makes a difference, huge
It does.
difference.
Yes, it does.
So I want to ask about something that was in the book that I've started implementing. Um, you talked about incorporating beets or the beet powder into your diet, and I did, and I think it took away all my adrenal fatigue. I feel like I don't know what crack feels like, but I think I know now.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why it makes you feel like you can fly? And I don't know, it just gives so much energy. Can you
Well,
tell us about beets?
yeah. Like I said in the book, I absolutely hate beets. I refuse to eat a beet, but I will drink beet juice.
Hmm.
And it's in the, whether you eat it or drink it, it doesn't matter. So beets are just a powerhouse of nutrition and nutrients. Um, they are loaded with a substance called nitrates, and nitrates raise the nitric oxide level in your body, and so it improves circulation. So it may be the beet sugar that's giving you a bunch of energy,
Mm.
or it could be the improved circulation. Uh, but
Oh.
uh, but I drink it for the improved circulation. I think it's very healing to the circulatory system. Uh, it improves circulation throughout the body. So there was a recent study at Wake Forest University that proved that beet juice can lower blood pressure by increasing nitric oxide. So anybody with high blood pressure or circulation issues or poor memory or erectile dysfunction or anything related to circulation can be helped with beet juice. It's a powerhouse food.
I told my husband, I don't know if I'm addicted or not, but I'm coming next week to buy 2 jars
Okay.
because I don't want to run out of that stuff because it's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's a powerhouse food. It's one of the that's why I included it in the book. I don't write about everything in the book, but I try to hit on everything that I feel that the most important things. And beet juice was certainly one of them.
Well, I thank you because it's been very helpful.
Good.
There was one thing in the book that I don't know if I agree with you about, and I'm
All right,
kidding, but
lay it on me.
running. I don't feel that my body, I have never had a runner's high. I like working out. But really are we all supposed to like okay, I want you to convince me that I need to start running.
Okay, I'm
Go
not
for
gonna
it.
I'm not gonna convince you to run because what I say in the chapter is this is why I run, and you should too. And then in parentheses, I say, or at least move.
Mhm.
So
Sure.
it's really the movement that matters. It's really raising the heart rate. It's really about putting some stress on your body so that it adapts and learns how to uh, handle that stress better so that it improves your health. But there's so many studies out there that prove that running and exercise and if you don't want to run, at least walk. And you can do interval training walking. I talk in the book how interval training is the best way to run, but it's also the best way to exercise, period. And by interval training, I mean, so if I'm running, I'll jog slowly and then I'll sprint as fast as I can for 30 seconds. And then I'll jog or walk slowly for 2 minutes to recover. And then I'll sprint as fast as I can for 30 seconds. And so that raises your heart rate to the maximum level and then lowers it, raises it to the maximum level and lowers it. So it puts the greatest amount of stress on your body in the shortest amount of time. And there's study after study that proves that is the healthiest way to improve heart function and respiratory function and lose weight and burn fat and all of that because it raises your metabolic rate better than anything else. So I'm not going to convince you to run. I love to run. I do it 3 or 4 times a week. Some days I'll run for 3 or 4 miles. Some days I'll run for just 1 mile, but I try to get in 3 or 4 runs a week. I try to get in a weight workout 2 or 3 times a week as well. But if you're not going to run, that's fine. Just, take brisk walks, swim, ride a bike, uh, just get up off the couch and do something.
Would
That's really what that's about is just getting up off the couch, turning the computer off, turning the TV off, putting the iPad down, and get outside and do something.
would like the HIIT workouts, would that be almost equivalent to what you were talking about with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
running?
that's what it is. High
Okay.
intensity interval training is HIIT.
Okay. Now I know Dr. Greger in his book How Not to Die talks about how research shows that although the government has come out and said you should, I think it's run or walk 30 minutes 5 days a week or something. He said actually scientific study shows it should be 60 minutes a day, which I mean, I guess 60 minutes might be better. Like, what's your thought on that?
Well, Dr. Greger's a medical doctor, so I don't put a whole lot of stock into what he says. Um, and I've gotten into some spirited yet polite arguments with him online in the past because we don't necessarily believe the same things. But having said that, I think here he's wrong. Um,
Okay.
yeah, the research, and I wrote another book a few years ago called Runology,
Okay. To look that one
where
up.
I put a whole lot of research into the art of running, the health benefits of running, the benefits of cardiovascular exercise, and all that. And the research is clear that shorter bursts of interval training is much more important than longer, slower paced exercise. I
Okay.
think there should be a balance, but for the best cardiovascular benefits, for weight loss, for metabolic function, for all of that, faster bursts of interval training is the way to go. So I can do an hour's workout in 20 or 25 minutes because my intensity is so high.
Mm.
But the research is clear that uh, when you do interval training uh, quickly, it raises your metabolic rate and raises your growth hormone and raises your testosterone and all of that better than slower, longer uh, runs or exercising.
Okay.
So, based on my research, I'm not saying that don't listen to someone else, but based on my research, that's what I found.
Okay. It's really hard sometimes to find 60 minutes.
Exactly.
I try. Sometimes I'm at 45, but
Nor my is 20 or 20 run interval training, and then a 20 or 25-minute weight workout. So I get it done in 45, 50 minutes, sometimes an hour. But if you don't have an hour to devote to it, go out and walk for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, or like I said, the whole point is really not to become a world-class athlete or run a 25-minute 5K or any of that. The whole point really is to just get up off the couch and do something.
sure, definitely.
Yoga and Tai Chi. You can do high intensity yoga, and you can do Tai Chi. I mean, there's so many things you can do,
Hmm.
and I think a mixture of all of that is probably the best way.
I think I've found that I like the mixture.
Yeah.
I need to not be bored. And I feel like if I do yoga or plyo for a long time, I lose muscle strength or something. Like I feel like I need to at some point rotate it and change
Right.
or
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to trick your body because your body gets used to one thing.
I can see that. Makes sense. Makes sense. So you talk about one of my favorites,